on this morning. I've really enjoyed it so far, and I hope everybody else has enjoyed it so far. Brief introduction. It's only 2 hours this slot, isn't it? Miss lunch? What you all say? No, we'll go on. Right, I'm John Dook. I'm a learning disability nurse. I've been for a few years, 20 odd years, something like that. And I manage the CAST service. It's a challenging behaviour team based in Lincolnshire. Has anybody ever been to Lincolnshire? A couple of people. The size of a small planet, and we cover the whole country. So when we're coming back from one corner and going to the other, in sat-nav say 65 miles, 2 hours and 8 minutes to get home. I'm not really pleased about that bit, but it's always worth the journey when we get there. And I decided to write a paper to come here and tell everybody about it and the story of one individual that we came across. A lady called Michelle. That's her real name. She gave me consent for a name and pictures to be used today. And I'm going to tell you all her story at some point. But the basics first. Who's in our team? It's a very big team. It's the biggest team in Lincolnshire for learning disabilities. Community-based. And in our team, we have 4 qualified practitioners. They're not necessarily learning disability nurses, but 3 of them are. And there's me as well, making the 5th qualified practitioner. One of them is an occupational therapist and 2 mental health nurses, dual qualified. Who else is in our team is a bit slow. The unqualified staff, we have 9 unqualified staff who have been trained now up to foundation degree. So they're all trained now. We also have our assistant psychologist. He's going to leave us because that's a developmental post. We're on our to about our 3rd one. We've been going 4 years. We try to get rid of them as quickly as possible because they want to go do their training. Is this coming up with any psychologists in the room? Qualified clinical psychologists? Want to be? So you know what I'm talking about. He's leaving to go to university or whatever he goes to in September. We're about to employ yet another one. And in the middle is our secretary, Charlotte. She makes the team go around really well. Anybody who doesn't value admin support, then come and talk to me. I'll tell you how good admin support really is. Okay, now does everybody work for the NHS, or roughly? Lots of nods. Has everybody heard of cost improvements? Yeah. But we do cost improvements as well. And one of our unfortunate ones is that we had to lose one of our members of the team to be a cost improvement. And I invited all our unqualified staff to display a presentation. And this really surprised me. They're a group of unqualified, untrained in the professional registration sense. And I asked them to give me a presentation of my manager of the 10 golden rules of challenging behaviour. And I wanted to share that with you because it was so good what they produced. And this is just one example of 10 that I saw. Right, okay. All of this, though, will relate around Michelle. Now, that's Michelle. Michelle, when I first met her, was physically aggressive towards staff. She used to hit people with curtain nails, rip them off, punch people in the face, bite people like Uruguayan footballer. That's what I made it correct. Okay. She has a mild learning disability, but also she was brilliant fun.
Do you think
He's got something. He definitely has something. And she is 32 years old, and she also has a personality, which I won't bore you with. But there's the background. She lived in residential care. So that's just some background about all the stories today. So if we relate everything that else we speak to this lady, then we won't go far wrong. But going back to the 10 golden rules. First of all, initial assessment. How can that not be important? How can not getting to know people and knowing what they do or how frequent something is not be important? I'm going to go rattling through quite quickly because I think we're limited to time as well. Function of the behaviour. We do this by 12-week process. We're supposed to fit in everything in 12 weeks. It rarely happens. But the function of the behaviour, we do observations. Anybody looking at them. Is that what other people do? We do, observations. We ask parents to fill in ABC charts, because often we'll turn up at parents' houses and they're living on the areas, but parents will still see it when they're not there. And ring any bells with people? Lots of knots, that's good. And then 3 weeks later, a month later, we have formulation. Everybody do formulation? Functions of behaviour? Lots of nods again. I would imagine, especially from the psychologists again. Formulation and hypothesis. Hypothesis being the best guess, yeah, with the evidence that you've collated over the years. Person-centered approach. How many times have we heard that already today? Make it all individual. I've got a separate slide just for number 5. Positive behaviour, simple. I'm not going to define it. It was already defined, and we already know where we are with that. Now, when I showed my manager this thing, she said, "For God's sake, take out the bouncing things. It's going to put everybody off." A consistent approach. How important is that? Everybody do the same thing? All fairly basic. Good communication. Early shift, late shift, night shift, tomorrow shift, next week shift. All talking to each other. Promoting independence. Yeah. I don't need to define that. Confidentiality, also important. And trust and rapport. Something that's really important. Relationships. We've already spoken about that. The previous chap that I saw downstairs in the basement, he talked about relationships or lack of them as well. I'm going to go on that one second. Later on how we manage that with Michelle. Right, next bit. This doesn't mean all doom stardom. This means it's your turn to do some work, which I hope everybody's up for. But for this, we all need a piece of paper. Can you just start spreading pieces of paper? Please. Has everybody got pens? If not, has everybody got paper and pens? I have special Lincolnshire Partnership Foundation pens. If anybody wants one. Anybody want one? There you go. I want lots. No, everybody's got one. Right now, seeing as we're trying to relate everything to patient experience, I want us to try and the whole point of this exercise is to try and see it from the patient's perspective. Is that I want everybody to write down 3 things that they like doing. Not family, because we know relationships. Not relationships. 3 things we like doing. So not family, not kids, not partners, not pets, but hobbies, activities. It's also to encourage a degree of innovation, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You have to design your own thing out of a piece of paper. Everybody done that? Yeah? Okay. Line under that. Without those 3 things, how would we feel? What would our behaviour be like? We're talking quiet, you can chat, you know. Discuss it with your partner or next door neighbour, you know. Everybody done that? Bit more time? Glad to see everybody doing it as well, that's good. I didn't know it would work. My teenage son said, no, I won't do it. Nobody will do it. But everybody is. Right, okay, now here comes the innovation bit for you guys. So to share these experiences, what we have in the room, I don't know what you've written. I want you to create, with your piece of paper, a flying object of some description, and throw it at me. And I'll pick them up and read them out. You can make spears if you're not liking the presentation so far. I'm just not reading them out as people are doing their things. I wish about my God. Watching football, topical. Watching TV programs. Visiting friends. That's what they like doing. They would feel lost, be reclusive and bored. That's what that person would feel like. I'll pick up some more. I've written them to pieces. Eating, running and socialising. Eating's a good thing. They would feel frustrated. They would feel pissed off and stressed. All negative experiences. A very innovative design. And a very innovative device. Okay, this one would be reading, travelling, going out with your friends. I think it says that right. I haven't got my glasses on. There would be, what word our behaviour divine? Feeling, I think it says miserable. Behaving. I can help with that one, what it says, I can't really see it. Who knows it? Who knows what it is? Just say what it is. Arguing. Arguing is a good one, right. Okay, let's have one more. Playing computer games, that's mine. I like computer games. I'm talking to my friends while I'm doing it as well. Cooking, walking, reading, feeling angry, fed up and agitated. Agitation, that you can't do it, that frustration, that you can't go out. And I can't go to my grocery and pass what I want to do. Because I like grocery and all, whatever it is. I don't like grocery, but it could be anything, couldn't it? The whole point I'm trying to make is very individual. One man's running is a pleasure, and another man's, I can't think of anything worse than doing that, but it doesn't really matter what those are. It's all what called meaningful activity. We all like doing these things. And what does it give us? Quality of life. Now we've all spoken about quality of life already this morning. What is quality of life? Different for everyone. See, you can define quality of life. I hope I can define quality of life. I got them all in the right order. Wikipedia, I don't really rely on Wikipedia very much. I don't think it's particularly reliable. But when I punched it into Oxford Dictionary, it didn't have you only could put in one word. So I used Wikipedia. The general well-being of a person or society, defined in terms of health and happiness. Blah, 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 blah. Goes on. Everybody can read, I don't need to read it. My definition, and I hope everybody else's definition, is that if you feel it, then it's got to be it. I've quite like the aeroplane. I don't know how we managed the GE. It's been a pretty good maneuver. But that is my definition of quality of life. Everybody disagree with anything? Any questions so far? Good. There's a picture of Michelle. Just got some history about learning disability care over the decades. Institutional care. Anybody remember institutional care? Big long-stay hospitals. Task-orientated work. The laundry came at the same time that you had to do it. All the staff stopped to have toast at 10 o'clock. Yeah? So not that it's happened. What else was there? Everybody stood up when the nursing officer came. Yeah? Teeth brushed in the bathwater. Queue up for the bath. One staff had 7 people to bath in the morning.
You're all the same clothes as well.
All the same clothes, no choice. Right. Okay. What did the day room used to look like? The day room, the lounge. Lounge in today's money, day room in old money. What did it used to look like? All around the room, yeah. Was anybody in different places? Did Anna used to always sit in the same corner on a sheepskin rug? Yeah? Did Bert used to still sit in the corner in his specially moulded wheelchair every morning? Yes, they did. Right. Please, everybody stand up. So I said it was going to be interactive. I'm not talking about millions of years ago when this happened, right? Oh wait, it's in my time. So I'm going to start off with, I wanted to sit down when I hit the decade when I saw this happening. Please. So 70s. When is the last time I saw it? 70s. 80s. Well, one sit down. 90s. Noughties. Noughties. Okay, the teens now, whatever they are now. Okay. 4 people still stood up. 4 people are right. That's how we saw Michelle. 26 beds, residential care, and every morning, about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, she'd smash her room up, call me all kinds of interesting words beginning with F, which I won't say. Flowery, I think it was. There's a small chance it won't flowery. And she was angry. She could have really, really played for Uruguay. Honestly, I know it's a second time. But she was throwing paint on the side. She was hitting the staff. She was hitting all the other service users, patients, residents, clients, whatever. She was running up and down. She was absconding from the unit. You name it, she was doing it, and she didn't have a nice word to say. They were all expletives, abusive language. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to say different quotes about where we got and how we got there. But we had to make that connection first. So we made the referral. We said we will help. And we decided that after making some observations of all what's happening, it's happening every day at 10 o'clock. You could say you'd watch by. And so we said, right, okay, we'll turn up at 8 o'clock and see what we can do. Making the report. It's very buzzword, isn't it, report? Everybody says it, oh, let's make the report. It's just all it is just getting to know somebody. And what we decided to do, interestingly enough, most young ladies like personal care and more. So guess what we did? We did actually do a hair and nails. So there was this bloke, me, 6 foot tall, rugby player. We got the slides wrong, okay, I got mixed up. I googled hair and nails and that's what came out. Sorry for the mistake. So the 6 foot bloke from Yorkshire. I don't know anything about hair and nails except for ladies have them and they like them for some reason. They spend a lot of time doing it. I don't really have them. And so I spent an hour in the morning doing hair and nails in the morning. I haven't got a clue what it was, but not important to me. But it damn sure was important to Michelle. She absolutely loved it. And it introduced her to all kinds of new things like choice of shoes. Is that important? Lots of nuts. Especially from the blokes. There's only 2 of them as well. 3 of us. But shopping all of a sudden became, she wanted to go do that. So I went out and did that as well. I went to Costa's coffee place. I like coffee, meaningful to me, I love coffee. Any excuse to have a bit of a rest. And I thought, well, this is a bit of a laugh, this, isn't it? I'm being paid to go and mess around with somebody's hair and nails, take them shopping, go to the cinema, do all these things that this person likes, and I quite like it as well. And not once did she say the F words to me while I was doing it. Not once did she try and bite me. Not once did she try and hit me. That's pretty cool. Instant success. Title of the presentations, Too Busy to Be Positive. So I suggested this to their home care manager. And I said, look, it's really working. No behaviours. We did it for 3 weeks. Every single day we did it. Part of our implementations. And then we're supposed to do it every other day, and they're supposed to do it. And once a week, and then they do the rest. And she said to me, I'm too busy to do that. I'm too busy to go out shopping and doing that. I'm thinking, well, aren't you too busy not to? It was taking 3 staff 3 hours to do manage her behaviours when she was I'm going to use the louder words, kicking off. Is it in, I don't know. I'm going to use those words because that's what they used. I'm not going to risk taking this lady out into the community. I'm not going to risk doing this on a one-to-one. Although I am. I'm going to do it, and I've proved it that it works. And they told me they were too busy to do it. I said, well, you do the maths then. Right? And one of my claims when I wrote this paper is that positive behaviour support is actually cheaper than doing things task-oriented wise. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. But we'll update later. So I said, you're spending 9 hours sorting this person out. If you just do it nice for 3 hours and have some fun, isn't that better? Isn't that better for your staff team? How many injuries are you going to have drinking coffee? You might get hurt once every year. Cup's too hot. That's the only risk. But, we've done the risk assessment, which, by the way, for the aeroplanes and trying things, I did do a risk assessment, so you have to do that every time. My kid currently, so I did my health and safety course yesterday. Didn't enjoy that either. But anyway, yeah, so you do the maths. Is it all making sense? It's not rocket science, is it? Be nice to people, how can that be? So we did personal care, we did shopping. Involved lifestyle and choice. So she all of a sudden was saying, I quite like blue tops. Instead of, get away from me, you effing, whatever. Where are we going today, John? So not only does it encourage relationships, it was John, not you, whatever it was. It was become very personal. And she soon learned, we did this in 3 weeks. So we had a massive turnaround. In the end, this placement did break down. And she moved to an organisation called Autism Care in Supported Living, where she is absolutely thriving right in the middle of the community. Her longest placement was 7 months long, broke down because of her behaviour. She's currently in her 3rd year of current placement. She still does the star charts thing because I behave better when I've got stars, and look how many stars I've got today. And she really likes that.
What was she doing before?
Oh, sorry.
Quickly, when you went in, you said what you did do. What was she doing before then? Nothing.
Nothing, no. And I said, well, at least can she do something around the house? Active support, doing the washing, doing her own washing. Why can't she be involved with that? Cleaning up her own room. Doing something that's chore-wise before we come to some of the nice stuff. Or do some nice stuff, do some horrible stuff, but everybody needs to vacuum the house. Why shouldn't she vacuum her own house? Why can't she make her own lunch? Why can't she choose what she wants? Why can't she go to the shops with her own money and buy her own things? She was doing none of these things. She was just wandering around the unit. And our hypothesis is that her quality of life was low, her choice was minimal, and she had no autonomy or direction of her own volition, and no other means of saying that she was fed up other than, okay, I'm going to get attention one way or another, and smashing you over the head with a curtain pole is likely to get me some attention. And it did, 3 staff for several hours, but they didn't get it. So we did the same teaching in Lincoln, and we took her to the shops, we bought sweets, we did this, did that, did the other, and it worked. Can everybody see how that process would work? Now, instead of swearing, I choose to go shopping a lot. I stay in bed a lot and all, is what she told me. Now, I asked her to do a video at the end so that she could say all these things, which said, no, I'm in my dressing gown. She did. She was in a dressing gown. And I said, I'll wait, it's no problem. She says, no, I'm going to bed. You can get lost. So I said, all right. Can I take a picture? She says, no, I'm in my dressing gown. And so I said, but you can have this picture. It's from when I ran the race of life. And she said about the race of life. And I want a curtain put up around my bath so I can use my shower. Well, how insightful is that? Before she was ripping the curtains down. Now she wants to put something up. Change her own living space. I would like a bar of chocolate when I get enough stars. That relates to the star charts, and she can have whatever it was. Positive reinforcement? I won't mention negative reinforcement. The psychologist might get it wrong. I choose to go shopping, and come on, John, I've got to go to the chippy in a minute, is what she was saying. But really, what she was really saying is, John, I needed to get out of the way because I've had enough of what's going on. Okay. I do believe it's all going to be wrong in the middle. Alright. Sorry. Let's go to the last one. Because it's lunchtime. Oh, come on. Okay, well the last one is, any questions? I really have a snazzy button. And you're not going to see my snazzy button. How long does that make it play? F5 makes it play. It's not going to work, is it? Okay, so I've left some time up there for questions. Any questions that you want to ask about cats? Any questions that you want to know about Michelle? She's given me permission.
In terms of positive behaviour support, would you conceptualise everything you just talked about to be environmental strategies, or would you say that some of it was more kind of based on function? Like, was there any functional analysis of her behaviour and the fact that it was communicative and that it was communicating that she wanted? Did that process happen, or was it more at the level of improving her environment generally, so as to set her in better stead?
We actually didn't change the environment, but we did the functional analysis. We did 3 weeks of observations. So our staff went in, and I did the first one. And I sat there for 2 hours, about 10 o'clock, writing everything down in detail, not interfering at all whatsoever. Michelle didn't even know who we were half the time, because she knew who I was, because John even get lost every time I turned up. But she didn't know Claire and Lisa and all the other people that went down. So I was stood in the corner with a lampshade on the red and a piece of paper, writing everything down, and from that we gathered all the information. We hypothesised that it was very relationship, the environment was secondary. She had her own room, she had her own activities. The only activities she liked was a wee machine, which I do recall now. And that was one of the few things that she didn't break.
I think you did change the environment with those intentions. Having her hair and nails done, being able to go out, being able to be in.
Oh, of course, yeah, I suppose. But her living space didn't change.
Yeah.
She still had to watch Coronation Street in the same environment. The house stayed the same. We did change the environment later on because the placement broke down. Give her 28 days notice, and off she went over to Lincoln. But yeah, I suppose it would.
I think you did have a really positive impact.
But I think the main thing was that, and I think what we decided in the end was, it was all about relationships in the end. That she started calling me John was really important. It was the breakthrough moment when actually she saw me maybe as a person and not the guy who comes down to sort out their behaviour. You know, and I still say that to met a 17-and-a-half-year-old lad, really nice lad. He just likes taking weapons to his mum and dad and threatening people with it and going out into the street. But he's a real nice lad. But he doesn't know, he hasn't got the skills to say what he wants with the knife, if you know what I mean. What's he trying to say with the knife? So now we have to do all the same thing all over again. But that's with parents, that's with mum and dad, so that's going to be a bit more of a challenge. But yeah, thank you for your question. Any more questions? Yeah?
How do you find working with teams with regards to kind of the culture of the team?
Any what, sorry?
How do you find working with teams with regards to kind of the culture of the team? And
It's
a real challenge.
It is a real challenge, because if they can't listen to the message, and if it isn't, if the leader of the team is not bought into the process, that filters down so clearly.
Yeah.
You'll have to win over the home care manager, because they just say, "Oh, it's just a casting. Let's just put on for a show, and we'll do what they want while they're here, and then as soon as it's there, it's back to normal. That's okay." And I know that happens because I used to be part of that person. Historically, I used to work at a place called Rampton National Service, Learning Disability, High Security, and the psychologists used to come on board, and they used to say, "All right, okay, this is what we're going and doing," and then I used to hear so many times, the psychologists don't know what they're doing, they're just pie in the sky, they just sit in their offices, they come down here for 10 minutes and tell us what to do. Nurses are king's ear sunshine, right? And I think, patients or service users kings here, guys. You know, they should be coming first, not
I think the difference is in your intervention, what you were saying clearly was, do as I do, it works.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
We
you weren't
model.
asking anybody to do anything you wouldn't do yourself.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I
It's the
thought,
role modelling.
and I thought, if some bloke can turn around and do hair and nails, then I would have thought that anybody could be able to do it. Because I mean, it takes me ages to do my hair anymore. But if I could do it, I thought everybody else could do it. And there were some young ladies there that would look really glamorous, etc., and obviously take great pride in the care. But then they're working for people or with people who did, and they didn't care what they looked like first thing in the morning. You know, I'll just go get in the bath. You know how to bath yourself, don't you? Well, yeah, she knew how to get herself clean, but she didn't know how to. Is there more to getting made up in the morning than getting clean? Yeah. Who looks in the mirror before they go out? Yeah. Look good, feel good. You know, it's the basics, building blocks of the first thing in the morning routine.
Sounds like you learned a lot about hair and makeup as well.
Yeah, I did.
Sideline.
Yeah, it's 20 quid an hour, see me afterwards, I've got the car. Yeah, no, but it's something, but I think it's not just me doing the innovation thing. Okay, well, what can we do to do that? All the rest of my team do that. And it wasn't actually my idea to do the hair and nails, it was Simone's, one of our assistant practitioners, goes, oh, go on, John, why do you do hair and nails? And then laughing about it. And then, you know, knowing my handiwork at that kind of stuff. And so I said, no, I will do it again. I will do it again. And I went there for 3 weeks and did it. It was difficult getting back because it was about 50 miles away from the base, but we still did it every morning. Set off from home really early, got home really late, and we did it. And now, one person in the world has a quality of life. Has got an aeroplane, and she tells me all those things at the end instead of hitting and shouting as well.
What does the CAST do? What does that stand for?
Oh, community assertive support team. That's all. We had to think of something.
Yeah.
That sounded really good.
The only reason I asked is because there's lots of sort of assertive teams being set up. I just want to kind of, you know.
Yeah, one of the purposes of coming here was hopefully meet other people running similar teams. And there are some people, because when we had our service review, we had to compare ourselves nationally with other teams.
Right.
And there's some good teams in Bristol. I don't know any in the south and east because we didn't want to travel this far. I heard really bad things about bases. No. Sorry?
That's my neck of the woods.
It was the bird team or
Yeah,
something.
but you know, Tracy's lost that job.
Sorry?
Tracy.
I spoke to Tracy.
That job is gone.
Really?
They decided they don't need them.
Ah, that's
Sad,
such a
isn't it?
shame, yeah. But
Absolutely
you had an awful
brilliant,
south team.
brilliant practitioner.
Yeah. Oh, that should be a massive loss. Oh, that is a shame.
Yeah, so she's gone. She's not providing how to work in some other capacity, but you know, years and years she's
Yeah.
practicing.
And we built up quite a good rapport as well. That's a shame she's gone.
Well, there's PBS network, so
Yeah.
it's like that. We've got all these
Hopefully people are still being reemployed. Is there teams like mine here? Yeah? Swap details at some point? Stay, you know, learn from each other, benchmarking, that kind of thing? Set up a network group? Meet on Facebook? I don't know. Do I get my kids to learn on 2, 3 hours a day? I've seen all this tweeting business. I don't know, tweet. I thought it was some kind of bird watching exercise. But apparently not, it's social network.
I also sound quite interested in how the teams work in terms of what their threshold is and how they keep the boundaries in terms of who they accept and who.
Oh, right, okay. Our criteria
Yeah,
is
so
adults 18, though we're trying to reduce it to 40. Early year intervention, meaning that we do that. We do take on children of 17 and a half in transition. And because the CANS team have a waiting list of 18 weeks, we have a waiting time of what we like to see, emergency people who are strangling people, life at risk. And we'll see people within 24 hours. And we'll drop everything to go meet the needs of those people.
Sort of crisis response.
Yeah, for the emergency ones. If not, then we receive the referral. We go through a paper screen exercise, gather as much information as we can. That goes to referral meeting. they have to be 18 or thereabouts. They have to have a diagnosed learning disability. If not, our psychology team does a WACE assessment. Everybody knows what a WACE assessment is, IQ level test, yeah? And then we take it from there. There has to be a degree of challenging behaviour. You know, it's not just, oh well, Johnny won't drink his cup of tea quick enough. That, you know, we decline those ones. But it's, you know, it's the ones with physical harm, emotional harm, and we score those things in numbers. We have a complexity tool, don't mind sharing that out with anybody, with a rating 0 to 30 or whatever it is, gives you a score, decide, all right, how complex is this person? Don't mind sharing any of that. We've come out with special confidentiality statements that, with capacity assessments that go along with it, consent to treatment, best interest meetings, same process that everybody else does. And yeah, that's the only criteria we have. Open referrals, we can take referrals from anybody. And they have to live in Lincolnshire. We don't come out to a business.
You've got one team that's intensive support team based in Morgan, and that's just the one team that covers them for the NHS.
Do they cover physical health care as well?
No, it's just
Just-
disability challenge.
Oh, then disability challenging behaviour, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Are you physical health team as well?
No, we have specialists in that, our senior nurses with caseloads, but they're not county-wide, they just have quarters of it.
Yeah.
I feel as if like we need a
That
helicopter.
would be our community learning disability team.
Yes, it's similar. And they're attached to them is occupational therapy, speech and language. But often behaviour is caused by physical healthcare reasons, and so we work all together. So we say, all right, we're all separate. Traditionally, 25 years ago when I did my training, the community learning disability nurse would be a jack of all trades. But now it's everything's chopped up into specialisms in it, and it looks like everything is in this area too. And in Lincolnshire, it's the same. Sorry?
Does that sound similar?
Yeah. And if there's no more questions, then
What happened?
oh, sorry, one more.
Do you have an inpatient facility?
yes,
Right.
we have
that's
8
what
beds assessment and
Right,
treatment,
that's good.
and we're the gatekeepers for that.
Right.
And
And that's all there is in your area?
in Lincolnshire, an NHS room is 8 beds, 8, and there's only 3 in. You said there's only 3 in your area.
No, we don't have any at all.
Oh, then you have to go for
But
county
they are going to be doing
But
longer
usually-
shifts, you know, the day is going to be extended.
But before we used to have 16,
Right.
and the unit would be full of service users with challenging behaviour.
Yeah.
Rarely now it'd be admissions due to psychosis, epilepsy, that kind of thing. People who need to be on a section of the mental health for some reason, dangerous, irresponsible behaviour that cannot be managed in the home environment, or a placement suddenly breaking down with a parent, that kind of thing. That would be the only reason now. But the first port of call now is treating them in their environment. You know, that's what we do. So, if there's no more questions, then we can have our sandwiches. Okay.
Thank you.